This is an audiobook for fanfiction named Omniverse Trip with Gacha System, Seirei Gensouki, by yours truly, Iekami _1126. This is the part 3 of this series, containing chapters from 11 to 15. Synopsis. Important things first. Reincarnation, wishes, a system, Iekami, magic, harem, doing whatever IMC want, semi-op MC, revenge. This story has all of those. Omniverse travel, robbing whole worlds, kingdom building, yes to all of these. MC is semi-op and is on his path to becoming op. Sharing gun at the start? Nope. But MC has 10 season. Shameless MC? Yep. Shameless comedy? Yep, from time to time. NTR. Nope, I am not a fan of that stuff. I am writing this novel after reading fanfic on web novel in which the writer writes whatever he wants, so keep that in mind that it has also affected me. The book version of this story is being uploaded on scibblehub and web novel every Monday. Let's continue the story from where we left in the last video, from chapter 10. Chapter 11, Treasure Sorting and Level 10. Part 1. The next day, after waking up early in the morning, Rio did his daily routine, which contains gaining all the experience his shadow has accumulated overnight, then daily training to convert all that gained experience into his own, then a nice long shower to wash off the sweat accumulated from the training, after which he eats lunch in the dorm cafeteria for appearance sake, then entering his farm he eats his real lunch cooked by Tifa and Hikari, where latter is working as farmer's assistant. For your information, Hikari is 15 currently, enslaved at the age of 11. After eating the lunch, Rio first sends his shadow into the forest behind the academy to collect a different variety of plants to increase the level of his farm. While Rio's shadow is doing that, he with Tifa, Latifa, and Hikari are now gathered in the yard in front of the wooden cabin. So, is everyone ready? Today we have a lot of things to arrange, Rio asked the three, who all nodded in return. Okay, then let's start with the most important thing, the library, Rio said, and then 460 shelves appeared in front of them, all filled with different types of books, scrolls, charts, and maps. Then Rio takes out 4 notepads, pens, and reading glasses bought from the system shop for 250 each, as each of them is enchanted to allow its wearer to read any language in the Omniverse. Rio hands over one of everything to everyone as he tells them, take these, the glasses will allow you to read what is written in the books, or other literature, as some of them are written in the ancient language. After finding out the context, note them down in the notepads. After going through everything, we will arrange them into different categories. Okay, then let's start. Saying this, they first divided shelves between themselves and started working. 8 hours later they finally finished taking notes. Then after eating lunch, they again started working. This time Rio and Tifa took the important job to create categories based on the different types of contexts, as Latifa and Hikari assisted them in their work, as they arranged books into different categories, which took another 4 hours. In the end, after 12 hours of hard work, they have 13,897 items containing books, scrolls, charts, and maps, which are further categorized into 10 categories: information and general work, philosophy and psychology, religion, social sciences, language, magic, magical technology, magic circles, runes, artifact creation, art and recreation, different manufacturing techniques of different works starting from day-to-day things to the weapon of wars, literature, history and geography. After a hard day of work, all of them decide to do the rest of it tomorrow. So, they all first eat dinner and then went to sleep in their rooms, including Hikari and Latifa, as with the system shop's help, Rio has upgraded the wooden cabin into a proper 4 BHK mansion, which also has a library. Tomorrow they will arrange all the knowledge-related items, like books, scrolls, charts, and maps, into it, that they have sorted today into different categories mentioned above. The next day, waking up, Rio followed the same routine and got ready for today's hard work. Eating lunch, all 4 of them gathered in the front yard and started to carry all the books, scrolls, charts, and maps into the library. There Rio and Tifa, with the help of Hikari and Latifa, arranged them on appropriate shelves. This all took them a good 2.5 hours to do, at the end of which they have a perfectly organized library containing 1,000 years old knowledge which has now been lost with time. After this, all of them eat lunch, and then they once again gather in the front yard, This time for appraisal of the artifacts, Rio uses the system shop to upgrade the reading glass and enchant them with appraisal skills. Once everyone is ready, Rio takes out all the artifacts from his inventory, and with it, Rio starts to receive dozens of notifications from his farm, as the system's mechanical voice sounds in the whole spatial farm, which surprised Hikari and Latifa. Discovered new item, Fire Demonic Sword, containing a soul of a fire demon, and sword grants the user the ability to use the powers of the sealed demon. Warning: long-term uses will corrupt users' souls. Does the host want to subdue the demon's soul to eliminate the side effects? Y/N. Discovered new item, Fire Demonic Sword, containing a soul of a fire demon. Sword grants the user the ability to use the powers of the sealed demon. Warning: long-term uses will corrupt users' souls. Does the host want to subdue the demon's soul to eliminate the side effects? Y/N. Space has leveled up to level 2 due to the discovery of new item types. Gifting 2 sacks of corn seeds. Every sack can plant 1 acre. Can be brought out of space for use. Soil quality increased to level 2, which can increase crop maturity speed to 11 times. Discovered new item, Water Demonic Sword, containing a soul of a water demon. Sword grants the user the ability to use the powers of the sealed demon. Warning: long-term uses will corrupt users' souls. Does the host want to subdue the demon's soul to eliminate the side effects? Y/N. Discovered new item, Wind Demonic Sword, containing a soul of a wind demon. Sword grants the user the ability to use the powers of the sealed demon. Warning: long-term uses will corrupt users' souls. Does the host want to subdue the demon's soul to eliminate the side effects? Y/N. Discovered new item, Ice Demonic Sword, containing a soul of an ice demon. Sword grants the user the ability to use the powers of the sealed demon. Warning: long-term uses will corrupt users' souls. Does the host want to subdue the demon's soul to eliminate the side effects? Y/N. Discovered new item, Lightning Demonic Sword, contains a soul of a lightning demon, and sword grants the user the ability to use the powers of the sealed demon. Warning: long-term uses will corrupt users' souls. Does the host want to subdue the demon's soul to eliminate the side effects? Y/N. Discovered new item, Spatial Demonic Sword, containing a soul of a space demon. Sword grants the user the ability to use the powers of the sealed demon. Warning: long-term uses will corrupt users' souls. Does the host want to subdue the demon's soul to eliminate the side effects? Y/N. Space has leveled up to level 3 due to the discovery of new item types. Gifting 2 bags of corn seeds. Spatial Earth has also upgraded to level 2. The farm's growth rate has risen 11-fold. Can cultivate 2 new acres of land. Discovered new item, Fire Magic Sword. Sword grants the user the ability to harness the power of fire. Discovered new item, Wind Magic Sword. Sword grants the user the ability to harness the power of wind. Part 2. Discovered new item, Water Magic Sword. Sword grants the user the ability to harness the power of water. Discovered new item, Earth Magic Sword. Sword grants the user the ability to harness the power of earth. Discovered new item, Ice Magic Sword. Sword grants the user the ability to harness the power of ice. Discovered new item, Lightning Magic Sword. Sword grants the user the ability to harness the power of lightning. Space has leveled up to level 4 due to the discovery of new item types. Gifting 2 wheat seed bags. Spatial Water was upgraded to level 2. Can improve crop growth by doubling 10-fold. Discovered new item, Magic Staff. Increases the outside magic power of magic by a factor of 5%. Discovered new item, Passive Mana Cultivation Amulet. Absorbs the mana from the surroundings and uses the stored mana to strengthen the wearer's body over a long period, with a passive increased mana recovery speed. Long-term use increases the wearer's mana reserves. 1 month long use will increase mana reserves by an additional 5%. Space has leveled up to level 5 due to the discovery of new item types. Gifting a bag of eggplant seeds. 2 new acres of land have been unlocked. Cultivated for 250 gold per acre. Space has leveled up to level 6 due to the discovery of new item types. Gifting a bag of broccoli seeds. The hot spring has been unlocked and installed at the cost of 5,000 gold coins. Space has leveled up to level 7 due to the discovery of new item types. Gifting a bag of pea seeds. 2 new acres of land have been unlocked. Cultivated for 250 gold per acre. Space has leveled up to level 8 due to the discovery of new item types. Gifting a bag of cucumber seeds. Space has leveled up to level 9 due to the discovery of new item types. Gifting a bag of pumpkin seeds. 2 new acres of land have been unlocked, cultivated for 250 gold per acre. When the notifications ended, which happened after a whole 10 minutes, Rio was frozen in his place and his eyes filled with shock. He didn't even move from his place until Latifah came and tugged his clothes, which in turn woke him up from the shock he received. Rio, what was all that about? Latifah asked Rio with a confused expression on her cute baby face. Seeing this, Rio returns to his senses, and then he looks at Tifa and says, Tifa, can you explain to them how this place works while I check the notifications regarding the demonic and magic swords? Okay dear, leave it to me, Tifa says as she accepts Rio's request and then starts explaining things to Latifah and Hikari, who were amazed at knowing how this place works. While the three of them were doing that, Rio had opened the farm's system interface, where he checked the notification and chose yes, and subdue all the demonic souls. He bound them with the farm so that they can be restored at cost of golden coins if they were to be broken or destroyed in the future. This in turn strengthened the fire, water, wind, earth, ice, lightning, and space element of the spatial farm. Then Rio opened the farm stats page in the farm system interface, which looked like this. Farm stats. Owner, Rio Celsius. Other controllers, Tifa Celsius. Level, 9, 10, 89%. Large city space. Ranch level, locked. Energies in space farm, mana, chakra. Structures, house, warehouse, pond, hot spring. Functions/ability, innate ability, map, detoxification. Element control, fire, water, earth, wind, lightning, ice, space. Races in space farm, human, magical entities, beastmen. After closing the stats page, a happy smile appeared on Rio's face. Then he looked at Tifa, Latifah, and Hikari as he said to them, well, that was an unexpected gain. Now I am estimating that tonight the spatial farm will be able to reach level 10 easily when my shadow returns with the plants unique to this world. At this, Tifa nodded her head, showing that she was also thinking the same. Okay, then let's start, as the farm has only identified the demonic and magical swords, magical artifacts, and metals containing mana. There are still magical artifacts which are broken, non-magical artifacts, metal ores, and other things that are needed to appraise and store them properly. So let's get started. Okay, all three girls replied, and then the four of them started working. It took them 3 hours to sort all the things, after which Rio stored all of them back in his inventory. But before that, Rio gave Hikari and Latifah a passive mana cultivation amulet each, while also giving Hikari the soul spirit embryo that he got on rescuing them 2 days ago. Seeing Rio giving Hikari such an important thing, Latifah became jealous, and to resolve that, Rio promised to play with her in his free time alongside some headbats. This is then also demanded by Tifa and Hikari, so Rio has to promise them too. And before evening, Rio's shadow also came back with different varieties of plants, which as expected gave them the required experience and the spatial farm successfully level up to level 10. With spatial farm reaching level 10, the following benefits also became available. The pasture, ranch, is open. Seeds can now be extracted from root crops. The gold coins inside the space can now be used outside, including in the system shop, with an exchange rate of 1 SP equals 1 gold coin, increasing the size of the house from 7 BHK to 10 BHK, allowing to set 3 teleport points in the outside world, increasing the range of the monitoring system to 500 meters in diameter with the teleport points as the center, giving Rio a portable controller of the spatial farm of the design he wishes. And the last, 2 bags of magic peaches. Just as Rio received the level up notification, Rio quickly took out the 2 bags containing the magic peaches and then bought 2 acres of land and planted them. For those who don't know, magic peaches are a magic crop that gets on reaching level 10. Each bag has 1 magic peach seed. 1 acre of land is needed to plant 1 peach seed. Magic peaches can heal the wounded and instantly restore a mage's magic. The magic peach pit can also get a war pet from any category. Blood is needed for the pet to recognize the host. Once the host is considered the owner, it's non-changeable. Magic peach is a proprietary spatial crop. It cannot be taken out of the space. After planting the magical peaches, Rio gathered everyone and started discussing the design of the portable spatial farm controller. After half an hour of discussion, it is decided to be in the form of a crystal ring, with an opal embedded in it, on which is engraved the chest of Celsius family, which Rio remembers his family has in his past life. Then with the help of the system shop, Rio enchanted the ring with invisibility and wore it on the forefinger of his right hand, which also allows him to use the powers of all the demonic swords, as now their souls are bound to the spatial farm. Other than when the spatial farm's elements was strengthened, Ryo's ability to use those same elements was also strengthened at the same time. Status: Name: Ryo Karasuki/Haruto Amikawa. Gender: Male. Race: Human. 0% awakened. Bloodline: Dormant. Age: 7 years, 20 years. Lifespan: 100 years. Normal human. Title: Transmigrator. Effect: increases learning speed by 15%. Hero: Effect: increases stats by 50% when fighting against world's evil. Types of energies: Mana, Chakra. Level: 0. Level 1 equals 10 Omniversal Power Level. Strength: 1.5 plus 0.2 1.7. Vitality: 2.7 plus 0.1 2.8. Dexterity: 2.4 plus 0.1 2.5. Agility: 1.7 plus 0.1 1.8. Intelligence: 17. Wisdom: 11. Manu/magic: 630 plus 5 635. Magic resistance: 55 plus 5 60. Chakra: 155 plus 5 160. Chakra resistance: 82 plus 890. Luck: 25. Average value of STR index for a normal adult in the current world is around 3. SP: 20. 760. Magic elements: wind, fire, water, earth, lightning, ice, space. Chakra elements: fire, water, earth, lightning, wind, yin, yin and yang. Release. Talent: learning, etiquettes, spirit arts. Skills: levels: EFDCBSSSSSSSS plus X. Class: 1-2 equals novice, 2-4 equals beginners, 4-6 equals experienced, 7-8 equals advanced, 9-10 equals master. Gamer's mind: X. Passive? Swordsmanship: F. Class: 5/10. Passive. Hand-to-hand fighting: F. Class: 4/10. Passive. Occlumency: E. Class: 1/10. Passive. Tensagonize: E. Unavailable due to lack of chakra. Abilities: basic see-through ability of Byakugan. Class: 1/10. Active. Shadow. SSS. Life limit: 15 days. Current limit 1, plus 1 avatar will be added at 2 levels. Cost: 600 for first shadow. Active. Precise mana control. E. Skill: have an easy time controlling mana. Class: 1/10. Passive. Gravity control. E. Skill: class: 1/10. 25% progress. Passive. Soothing head pats. D. Skill: only works on female beings. Passive. Inventory: 1000 gold for farm. Can't be removed from farm to farm is level 10. 1x 25% OFF ticket for the system shop. Chakra cultivation percent and training manual from the world of Naruto. Healing tag: consumable. Bridges the dead back to life, can treat any disease and can regrow missing limbs in no time. 1x soul spirit embryo. Gives birth to your spirit. Hatching time: 1 year. Treasure: millions of coins made up of gold, silver, and bronze. Other than this, there are hundreds of precious stones, diamonds, metals, ancient artifacts, and a collection of 1000-year-old books on magic, technology, and other things. Contracted spirit? Chapter 12. Time skip. End of the first semester. Reward. Message to Liselotte. Part 1. Time skip. 5 months. 5 months have passed since Ryo enrolled in the Royal Academy of the Kingdom of Beltrum. Thus, 5 months have passed since Ryo's spatial farm reached level 10 and unlocked the ranch/pasture, and it has been upgrading smoothly. Every month Ryo orders his shadow to go and collect some wild animals and plants from the forest behind the capital, while also stealing 2 to 3 different animals and plants that are not native to this place from the pasture of the noble houses who were thinking of pulling him into their evil schemes at that time. After doing all this collecting and stealing, now Ryo and others have become almost self-sufficient in terms of food, and they do not need to order ingredients from the system shop except for some spices from his previous life that Ryo hasn't found in this world until now. With this, the spatial farm has also reached level 15, rewarding 20 acres of new land, 5 acres worth of seeds of soybean, sponge gourd, bamboo shoots, and grapes each. Spatial shop now sells Bajia Shan palm leaf fan, and immortal gourd. Both are the same treasures left by the 6 sages in Naruto, but more powerful. In these last 5 months, Ryo's strength has been advancing at a very good pace. He has surpassed the normal people of this world in terms of power and has successfully reached level 2. In these 5 months, Ryo has used Gacha only once, for 10 consecutive Gacha rolls. And from that only useful thing he got was the training manual for observation haki and marine physique manual from the world of One Piece. And charm skill, that with time continues to increase its user's charm, by removing all types of impurities from her body through sweats and other things. Other than these 3 useful things, the other things were just more normal, like a few good quality swords, daggers, and some clothes. The training manual for observation haki talks about the training process to sharpen one's observation skills. As beginner and intermediate level of observation haki is all about sharp perception, which the user catches the small to smallest details from his surroundings using all of his senses, and with the help of the acquired details, he creates a mental map and uses it to dodge incoming/surprise attacks and other things. The Marine Physique Manual talks about how to keep your body in shape and the process of quickly digesting large amounts of food, as it requires a large number of calories to maintain. While the charm skill as mentioned above continues to increase its user's charm, by removing all types of impurities from her body through sweats and other things. Meaning with time the user will become more charming with no limit. Other than that time, Ryo has not used the Gacha and continued to stackpile Gacha tickets until now, as he has decided to focus on practicing a set of skills, and only when he reaches a satisfactory level in them, only then would he start something new. So the things he has been focusing on in the last 5 months are occlumency, swordsmanship, hand-to-hand fighting, mana control, chakra control, gravity control, astral arts, and lastly cooking and tea brewing. With these last 2 being his hobbies, for good progress, it is important to maintain a balance between hard work and relaxation. For occlumency, Ryo has been practicing on his own and has evolved it to rare rank. At this level, the user creates a mental space in their mind which is known as mind space. There, they have a library in which their memories are stored in an organized manner in the form of memory books. This also increases the mental capabilities of the person and helps him/her in controlling their emotions and facial expressions. And Ryo is currently in the middle of arranging his memories of 2 lives and converting them into memory books. Then the next step will be creating a shield around his mind space/palace to completely isolate and protect it from any outside attack. And when the shields are at an acceptable level, the occlumency will evolve once again and reach the next rank, super rare rank. I/N, mind space is the word used for the whole mind space, whereas mind palace is a building inside the mind space in which the library is located. As for the swordsmanship and hand-to-hand fighting skills, he has been doing spar with his martial arts instructor to take his guidance, while he also spars with Tifa, who has the same skills as him, and his shadow avatars, which has increased in number by 1 on reaching level 2. Other than this, he and Tifa also has been teaching Latifa and Hikari since they have shown interest. Both of them wants to learn as they don't want to be a burden to them in critical times in the future. This has resulted in Ryo gaining teaching skill that increases his teaching proficiency with each level and rank of the skill, whereas his swordsmanship and hand-to-hand fighting skills have also evolved to the next rank, rare rank, and currently are at level 2 both. When it comes to mana control and chakra control, Ryo is great as he has evolved both skills to the first level of super rare rank. He has trained both hard and smart. Smart as he has been practicing in the most efficient way, which is to practice creating strings from both types of energies, and hard as it is not an easy thing to do as it needs a very high energy control for that. For example, to create the weakest energy string which cannot be easily broken by a 15-year-old kid needs a level 1, rare rank energy control skill. And if it is about his progress in gravity control, then it is also going great. Ryo is now able to control gravity in a range of diameter of 500 meters around himself. In this range he can increase or decrease the weight of any object in a range of 0-50 tons, 0 to 45,000 kilograms, but the effect of gravity decreases as you go away from him, and Ryo is currently using this to increase his weight while doing body training. Part 2. As for astral arts, Ryo and Latifah both are taking classes from Hikari, while also reading a book about it, as there are luckily some books on astral arts in the library he previously confiscated from Rodin's house. After 5 months of training, Ryo has easily mastered the basics and is currently practicing them to form a strong foundation. Now, it's about cooking and tea brewing. They are going great as Ryo, Hikari, and Latifah are taking a cooking class from Tifa. Due to Tifa's motherly personality, she has an innate talent for cooking and teaching, which shows as Ryo and Hikari both has gained the cooking skill and have reached the rare rank in it, while Latifah's cooking skills have just evolved to R rank. As for tea brewing, since it comes under cooking, it is also coming along very well, while Ryo's official teacher for tea brewing, Celia, is also happy with his progress. Other than this, Ryo and Celia's relationship has been progressing well. Now, they can be said to have become close friends, as now Celia has already told him some of her secrets that she hasn't told anyone else. All of this is due to Ryo treating her like a normal girl and even teasing her from time to time like a close friend, which is something every genius with only a few friends always wants. Other than this, Ryo's charm skill has also played a big role in it, as due to it Ryo has been becoming more and more charming as days are passing by and the impurities in his body are becoming less and less. Thus this is bound to happen. How can any girl not have a good opinion of a charming boy, who always treats her with care while teasing her from time to time to keep her happy? This also creates chances that this good opinion can also change into a feeling, which can change this relationship from just being friends into something closer and intimate. Present time. Ryo is currently standing in the corner of the first-year corridor away from the prying eyes of any student, as he enjoys the surprised expressions on the students gathered around the bulletin board of the first-year corridor. If you all are thinking, what are they all surprised about? Then hear me out. The Royal Academy of Beltram uses a 2-semester system with an exam at the end of each season. And the first day of the second semester is the day the results of the end of semester exams were announced. Grades are usually notified to the students individually, but the top 10 students and their scores were posted on the bulletin board. As you must have guessed by now, today is the first day of the second semester and the bulletin board of the first-year corridor has the list of the top 10 students and their scores posted on it right now. And all of these students are surprised and shocked to see the name written in front of the first position. Normally it would have been occupied by the name of Christina Beltram only. But this year is different, as, along with the name of Christina Beltram, there is another name written beside hers. The one that no one has ever imagined seeing at that place, and this name is Ryo, the only orphan kid attending the Royal Academy, which has surprised all these arrogant and attention-seeking kids, and Ryo is currently enjoying just that. Their rage is about to blow up the heads of some of the most arrogant students as Alphonse Rodin, a low-life orphan with no family name, an inferior student that couldn't even read half a year ago, the one everyone had looked down on as a joke, an insect no one had even considered. The humiliation was hard to bear, and it was enough reason to question the validity of the results. And it happened as Alphonse yelled loudly, "This is some kind of mistake. He must have cheated." That's right. His friends around him cheered in agreement. Alphonse, who thinks of himself as one of the chosen ones since infancy, had been studying to pass the entrance examination into the Royal Academy of Beltram. The thought of him losing to an inferior, and now a low-life orphan who couldn't even read mere months ago is intolerable and impossible. That's why Alphonse came to his conclusion that there had to be a mistake with the exam results, that Ryo had to have cheated. Having his fill of seeing Alphonse fuming in rage, Ryo started to look around and his eyes landed on two small girls with displeased expressions on their faces as they looked at Alphonse and the others making a ruckus. It's Christina and Roanna, the usual duo of the first princess and her attendant. But their expressions were vastly different from the other students. Christina is glaring at the bulletin board with her usual sulky expression, with clear jealousy in her eyes on seeing that Ryo is in the same position as her. And behind this jealousy is hidden a small feeling of curiosity about knowing more about him, who can stand on the same level as her in just 5 months of education. She has the desire to see what other unexpected things will he do in the future. While Christina was thinking all this, Roanna had an expression of awe on her face as from a young age she has had a dream to become an master swordswoman. And 5 months ago when she saw the sparring session between Ryo and her martial arts instructor she was charmed by Ryo, And now she has become Hinata from Naruto, as she has been stalking him on every situation possible, and Ryo has also noticed it but has ignored her for now until the right time comes. And this exam result has just increased her respect for Ryo in her heart. Stop it, Alphonse. Jealousy is an unsightly look for a noble. Roanna suddenly interrupted Alphonse, as she couldn't hold it anymore that someone is tarnishing the name of the person she looks up to and liked from the depth of her heart. Hearing Roanna's comment, Alphonse's face twitched with rage as if her comment had hit the correct mark. Jealousy? I'm afraid I can't let that pass. I simply wanted to reveal the cheater. Alphonse tries to reason but is interrupted by Roanna midway. First place isn't so easy to achieve simply by cheating, unless you have concrete evidence of how he cheated. Roanna shoots down Alphonse's reasoning. That's part 3. That's. Alphonse was cornered by Roanna's rational rebuttals. If you don't have any, then what you're saying is a baseless accusation. It's an insult to the dignity of the academy, and I'm afraid I can't overlook it as the class representative, Roanna declared strongly. An additional voice then spoke up in support. I didn't hear the whole thing, but I understand what you're saying. It's exactly as Roanna says, Alphonse. It's Celia who said this while entering the corridor, as she just heard Alphonse remark when she was passing by. Professor Claire. Alphonse stutters. There have been no signs of cheating, nor attempts at bribery detected on the academy's side. This examination result was completely obtained by Ryo's efforts. That, I can guarantee, Celia stated clearly. TCH. Completely lost for words, Alphonse's face screwed up in frustration. HHMPH. I won't accept this. He deposited those words behind, before quickly leaving the scene, with his gang of followers retreating with him. All right, everyone, head to class if you're done checking the grades. Homeroom is about to start, Celia said, clapping her hands together. The gathered onlookers started to scatter in every direction. Just as everyone disappears, Ryo comes toward them, and after turning toward Roanna and Celia, he says while bowing his head in gratitude, "Thank you very much." HMPH. Roanna huffed quietly in a try to hide her flustered expression on seeing Ryo, but she was betrayed by her flushed face. It's not like I was intervening for your sake. I won't lose next time, she declared, before turning around and leaving too, as she couldn't control herself anymore and started to blush as she walked away from Ryo and Celia. Thankfully, Celia was facing her back, otherwise, she must have seen Roanna's flushed face. As for Ryo, how can he miss her blushing face? He saw it with enhanced vision as he and Celia watched her retreat. She's not a bad girl, you know. She just has a lot of pride and a rigid sense of duty, so she's strict with herself and with others, Celia said with a wry smile. So it seems, Ryo agreed with a mysterious smile of his own. Are you going to study at the library again today, Ryo? Celia asked. To which Ryo replies, yes, that's the plan. I see. Then let's have tea in my research lab. You can drop by whenever you're ready. Celia says. Sure, Ryo replies, and Celia, on getting his reply, also walks away to attend to her duties as a professor. After all that ruckus in the corridor, Ryo is currently taking his class while being surrounded by the questioning eyes of his classmates, which he is ignoring very skillfully, as he is talking with 3 girls in his spatial farm while checking the new system feature, which has been rewarded with on completing the quest. Came on the top of the school rankings. Quest completed. Objective: whole year, the arrogant students of your class have been trying to pick up a fight with you, and now is the correct time to show your superiority to them, by coming to the top of the school rankings. Evaluation, SSS. Reward: dimensional chat feature for the system. But don't confuse it with the dimensional chat group you have read in other novels. It's a bit different as it doesn't have any shop where you can buy items from different worlds. Nope. Neither does it give you any mission which you have to complete by going to another world. Nope. In place of all this, it has a much more useful thing. While possessing the basic ability to connect endless dimensions, infinite time, and space, an easily resizable chat screen that is only visible to members, the ability to chat both through mental typing or direct exchange of thoughts just as in telepathy, but in between endless dimensions, infinite time, and space. Other than this, it provides a variety of special features that every dimensional chat member can use, like personal inventory, etc. And a special space that can only be accessed while sleeping. During their sleep, a member's consciousness can enter a special space that is under the same protection as Ryo's spatial farm, which no one without Ryo's permission can enter. This space is controlled by the administrator, who is Ryo, giving him the ability to assimilate any type of environment in that space. In this special space, members are present in the form of their spiritual bodies that work just like their real bodies in the outside world, allowing them to eat, play, and train in any way they want without the fear of dying, since they can't die inside this space. And when they leave this space, they will wake up feeling relaxed and energetic as if they have just woken up after a good night's sleep. Other than this, any type of training they did in that space will also affect them in the real world, thus increasing the rate at which their skill proficiency increases. So, girls, what do you think? I have been thinking of coming in contact with the third transmigrated person, and this reward just gave us the way. What are your thoughts? Should I send the membership invite to the third transmigration or not? Ryo asked the girl in spatial farm through his thoughts. At this, the one to ask the first question is Latifa. Ryo, wouldn't it create a possibility that the new member might tell the existence of this dimensional chat group to anyone else close to her? Hikari also supports Latifa, as she is also thinking the same thing. No, there is no such possibility, as there are already countermeasures in place which block every member from talking about its existence with any non-member until they have my permission to do so. And I have also applied the same countermeasure for the spatial farm. Ryo ensures Latifa and Hikari, who lets out a breath of relief on hearing that. So, does anyone have any objection against sending the members to invite the third transmigrator to let her join the chat group? Ryo asks again, and this time no one asked any question, as Tifa doesn't have one from the start, whereas Latifa's and Hikari's doubts has already been cleared by Ryo just now. So they all of them agreed, and Ryo decided to do this in the evening when she will not with anyone else, as this way it will not cause problem to the third transmigrator. After deciding this, Ryo's rest of the day went slipping past the angry students, who wanted to teach him a lesson but weren't able to catch him alone even once in the entire day, but was instead played by Ryo as he used genjutsu on them, making them think that their friends are unparalleled beauties, who are trying to kiss them, thus making them kiss each other. And much to Ryo and Tifa and others' amusement, in just less than half an hour the whole academy came to know about it, making them a topic of rumors which may or may not be spread by Ryo. This resulted in them being called by the principal, who sent letters to their parents, informing them about their children's behavior. At the end of the academy day, Ryo went to meet with Celia as usual. There, in Celia's lab, both of them eat sweets and drink tea, in celebration of Ryo's coming in the first position in the semester exam with Princess Christina. And for this, Celia has specially bought the most famous confectionaries from the most renowned shop in the whole capital. Leaving Celia's lab, Ryo made his way to the academy dorm, where after eating dinner Ryo went into his room, then entered his spatial farm, which is now comparable to a small state in size. In there, Ryo first sparred with his shadow avatars for a while as Tifa, Latifa, and Hikari watch him doing that, as it is one of their hobbies. At the end of it, Ryo was drenched in sweat, so he took a nice hot shower while all three girls cooked dinner for all of them. They later ate together while talking about what they did the whole day, and the girls were laughing out loud knowing Alphonse and others' reactions. Half an hour later, the four of them are seated in the living room as they drink the after-dinner drinks. Everyone, it's time. I am going to invite the third transmigrated person in this world to join the dimensional chat group, with a small informative message. Ryo informed everyone around him. Okay, I have no problem, dear. Tifa says, which is followed by, me too, from both Hikari and Latifa. After getting their consent, Ryo opens the invitation option in the dimensional chat group and writes the name Liselotte Kresha. Then he writes a small message, telling his identity, then sends the invitation to Liselotte Kresha aka Minamoto Rika. Now, we just have to wait for her to accept and join the group, Ryo said, and they turned on the TV and played a short movie from his original world, released after his death. Getting some popcorn, Ryo started watching it with the girls. Part 4. Kresha Family Estate, Royal Capital of Gallic Kingdom. In one of the rooms of the Kresha Family Estate in the Royal Capital of Gallic Kingdom, a 6-year-old girl is lying on a large king-size bed alone. She has wavy light blue hair with a tinge of silver that matches her hair. This girl is Liselotte Kresha aka Minamoto Rika. She was also on the bus at the time of the accident and transmigrated into this world after her death alongside Haruto Emikawa and Indo Sazune. Unlike Latifa, due to Rika's mature soul, She quickly adapted to her surroundings, and her young age also helped her in avoiding trouble due to the change in her behavior. Right now, just many countless nights before, she is having trouble sleeping, as every time she closes her eyes, her mind goes back to the memory of the day when Rika was caught in the bus accident alongside a young girl and a senior, who she knew very well, as that senior have saved her from some bad boys in past in that world. Thinking this, her mind wanders to the question, does any one of them have also transmigrated into this world and currently are in the same position as her? If yes, then would she ever be able to find out their whereabouts? Then her thoughts wander in the direction of her future in this world, as it's not like she has been doing nothing in the last 5 months. She has been gathering information about the history of this world, the kingdom she is currently living in, and what the future in this world waits for a girl of noble origin. And the information she has collected about her future had not let her sleep comfortably for many nights in the last few months until she found a way to change that future of hers. From the information she has collected, she knows that in this world every noble girl has 2 future paths in front of her. The first path is to be bounded in an arranged marriage during the later years of her study, which is around the age of 15-16. Then after finishing their study, girls are given bridal training at their parents' house and they are married when they reach an appropriate age. This is something Liselotte combined with the soul of Rika couldn't accept, as she has Rika's memories from her world, in which girls have much more freedom than what is given in this world. So she wants to write her future with her own hands, and to make this impossible possible she has to choose the second option, which only a few noble girls have chosen in the long history of this world. And this second path is to increase her value so that the family doesn't have to marry her off in exchange for profits from other houses, and is the reality behind almost all marriages between nobles and royals, which is not only limited to this world but is true for countless worlds out there in the entire Omniverse. Now, this can be done in many ways, like gaining her freedom by graduating from the Royal Academy at an early age, just like Celia Claire from the Kingdom of Beltrum, about whom she heard phrases from her parents. Then the other way is to excel in martial arts and join Royal Army, which doesn't suit Liselotte. And the last way is to start her own business and gather money, with which slowly comes the power to control the market of the entire kingdom. And this is the path Rika has chosen alongside early graduation, as with the otherworldly knowledge she possesses, these two are the only option with most success rate. Just as Liselotte was thinking about all this, suddenly a transparent white screen appeared in her field of vision, which no one other than she could see, on which the following things are written in black fonts. Membership invitation from Dimensional Chat Group, Admin, Rio, Haruto Amikawa. A very good evening to you, Minamoto Rika. Sorry, I am using your previous name as I don't know what name your new self has after transmigrating into this world. My name is Rio Karasuki Celsius. You might know me by another name, Haruto Amikawa, as we have met once in our previous world, and if you remember correctly, I was also with you on that bus on that day at the time of the accident, in which both of us died alongside a middle school girl who was also with us at that time. I would like to inform you that I am currently living in the capital of the Beltrum Kingdom. More importantly, when I woke up in this world, I had a vision in which I saw 2 bodies into which you and the middle school girl have transmigrated, and since then I have been trying to come in contact with you too. Now only you have left, as I have already met the middle school girl. Her name is Indoshizian and she is also living in the capital of the Beltrum Kingdom with me. The way I am using to convey this message to you is a special power called Dimensional Chat Group, which I just got today. It is just like those chatting groups in our previous world, and at the end of this message, you will find an option to join this group. If you want to know more about this world and how did we get into this world, then please join the group, as we are also trying to find answers to these questions. And if you are in problem, then you must join it, and I also have some other powers which might be able to help you. That's all that I want to tell you. I hope you will join the group, as Latifa aka Sazun is waiting for you to join. Do you want to join the Dimensional Chat Group, Admin, Rio, Haruto Amikawa, and become a member? Accept/deny. When Liselotte finished reading this message, tears of happiness started to roll down her cheeks, as she, herself was waiting for such news, and it finally came, even if the means used to inform her is nothing like she had even thought in her wildest imaginations. Quickly wiping them off, Liselotte clicked on the accept option with a happy smile on her cute face. In the next second, the words on the white transparent screen changed into a welcome message. Welcome, You have successfully joined. Now you are a member of Dimensional Chat Group. Admin, Ryo, Haruto Amikawa. Status: Name, Ryo Karasuki/Haruto Amikawa. Gender, male. Race, human. 1% awakened. Bloodline, dormant. Age, 7 years, 20 years. Lifespan, 100 years, normal human. Title, Transmigrator. Effect, increases learning speed by 15%. Hero, effect, increases stats by 50% when fighting against world's evil. Types of energies, mana, chakra. Level 2, level 1 equals 10. Omniversal power level. Strength, 1.7 plus 2 3.7. Vitality, 2.8 plus 4 4.8. Dexterity, 2.5 plus 2 4.5. Agility, 1.8 plus 3 4.8. Intelligence, 17 plus 5 22. Wisdom, 11 plus 2 13. Manu/magic, 635 plus 150 785. Magic resistance, 60 plus 80 140. Chakra, 160 plus 505 665. Chakra resistance, 90 plus 60 150. Luck, 25. Average value of STR index for a normal adult in the current world is around 3. SP, 130, 760. Magic elements, wind, fire, water, earth, lightning, ice, space. Chakra elements, fire, water, earth, lightning, wind, yin, yin and yang. Release. Talent, learning, etiquettes, spirit arts. Skills, levels, EFDCBSSSSSSSS plus X. Class, 1-2 equals novice, 2-4 equals beginners, 4-6 equals experienced, 7-8 equals advanced, 9-10 equals master. Gamer's mind, X, passive. Swordsmanship, FC, class, A, passive. Hand-to-hand fighting, FC, class, A, passive. Occlumency, ED, class, A, passive. Tensagonize, ED, unavailable due to lack of chakra. Abilities, basic see-through ability of Byakugan. A, active. Shadow, SSS. Life limit, 15 days. Current limit 1, plus 1 avatar will be added at 2 levels. Cost, 600 for first shadow. Active. Precise mana control, EC. Skill, have an easy time controlling mana. Class, E, passive. Gravity control, EC. Skill, class, E, passive. Soothing head pats, DB. Skill, only works on female beings. Passive. Astral ARTS, C. Skill, level, 8 100ths. Active. Teaching, B, passive. Observation Haki, B, passive. Marine Physique, B, passive. Charm, X, passive. Cooking, D, passive. Inventory, 1000 gold for farm. Can't be removed from farm to farm is level 10. 1x 25% OFF ticket for the system shop. Chakra cultivation percent and training manual from the world of Naruto. Healing tag, consumable, bridges the dead back to life, can treat any disease and can regrow missing limbs in no time. 1x soul spirit embryo, gives birth to your spirit, hatching time, 1 year. Treasure, millions of coins made up of gold, silver, and bronze. Other than this there are hundreds of precious stones, diamonds, metals, ancient artifacts, and a collection of 1000-year-old books on magic, technology, and other things. Contracted spirit? Chapter 13, Liselotte's Welcome. Part 1. Back with Ryo. Just as Ryo and others ended up watching the short movie, Ryo gets the notification of Liselotte joining the chat group. Girls, Riko has accepted the invitation, and her name in this world is Liselotte Kresha. Ryo informs the girls, who become happy to know this, especially Latifah, as she is the most curious about Liselotte, who is from the same world as Ryo and herself. Okay, girls, you should go first and enter the virtual space, I/N. This is the name of the special space I was talking about in the last chapter, and start preparing for her welcome while I go and instruct her on how to enter virtual space. Ryo said, and the girls nodded to his suggestion. Then they all went to their rooms. Then in there, they all opened up their respective chat group interfaces, as Ryo had already added them to it earlier when he was still in the academy. After entering the virtual space, all the girls fall asleep in the real world, while inside they start doing preparations for Liselotte's welcome. While the girls were doing all this, Rio started talking with Liselotte and guiding her on how to enter the virtual space for the first time. I/N. Following is the interaction in Dimension Chat Group B. W2 lines of this apostrophe pattern. Liselotte Kresha has joined the Dimension Chat Group. Liselotte. H. Hello. Is there someone here? I mean Rio-san, are you here? Liselotte posted her first message. Rio, admin. Hello, Liselotte Kresha. We welcome you to the Dimension Chat Group. Liselotte. H. Hello Rio-san. Thank you very much for the welcome. Rio, admin. Don't be shy, and by the way, what should I call you? Would simple Liselotte suffice? Liselotte. Yes, sure you can. Rio, admin. Thank you, and please call me by my name too. Liselotte. Okay, Rio, admin. That's perfect. So, Liselotte, were you going to sleep when you got my message and the invitation? Liselotte. Yes, I was just trying to fall asleep when I got your message. What happened? Why are you asking this? Rio, admin. Oh, that. Tell me, do you know what a virtual space is? Liselotte. Yes, I have read about it in some novels in our previous world. According to it, the virtual space is a computer-simulated environment in which users can create their avatars and explore the virtual space. So, what about it? Rio, admin. Since you already know about it, then it's easy to explain. You see, there is a virtual space option available in the Dimensional Chat Group. Through this option, while you sleep in the real world, you can send your consciousness into a virtual space provided by the Dimensional Chat Group. In there, chat members can meet face-to-face and interact with each other. Currently, the other chat members have entered the virtual space after knowing that you have joined, and they are currently preparing a welcome party for you there. So I was just asking, if you don't have anything else to do, then can you enter the virtual space as they are waiting for your arrival? Reading Rio's message, Liselotte was surprised that there was something like that available in this chat group. Liselotte. Oh, thank you very much for that. Can you please instruct me on how to enter this virtual space feature? I have no problem entering it right away, and I don't want them to wait for long. Rio, admin. Hey, slow down. Don't be in such a rush. They are not going to be angry if you came a little late, as they have just entered and started the preparation. It will also take them some time to prepare, which is sufficient for me to teach you how to enter the said space, and you wouldn't be late for anything. Liselotte. Sorry, Rio, admin. Haha, it's okay. Now I'm going to send some pictures guiding you on how to use the virtual space feature. Liselotte. Okay, Rio, admin. Image. Rio, admin. So, is the procedure clear to you? Liselotte. Yes, thank you, Rio, admin. You're welcome. Then bye. Let's meet in virtual space. Liselotte. Bye. With this, Rio and Liselotte both entered virtual space. Inside the virtual space, when Rio enters the virtual space, he is met with an open grass field with a few trees growing here and there, and this is the scenery here as far as the eye goes. And in the middle of this green field are three girls with party crackers in their hands, a large red velvet cake near them resting on a table on which is written, "Welcome Liselotte." There are also many balloons and a banner hovering in the air, with on them is written the same thing as the cake. Oh, Rio, you have come at the right time. We have just finished all the preparations, said Tifa when saw Rio standing here, checking the surroundings and the party preparations. Rio, here, take this. Pop this when Liselotte will enter, Hikari said while she handed him a party cracker, and he nodded. Then with white light, 6-year-old Liselotte also materialized in the virtual space. When she opens her eyes, she is met by 4 people, one 18-year-old girl with black hair and galaxy-like eyes. This is Tifa. Next to her are two fox girls who are around 4 and 15 years old, Latifa and Hikari respectively, and on seeing them, Liselotte's eyes widen in surprise as she hasn't seen any beastmen ever before in real life. Part 2. Then her eyes landed on Rio. After 5 months, Rio is no longer that skinny, malnourished kid as before. Now he has the perfect level of muscles in every place on his body. They are flexible and are filled with explosive strength, surpassing your average teenager. His 7-year-old boy's cute face with black hair that is silkier than before and a pair of galaxy eyes are all very attractive. His charm also worked on Liselotte as she kept looking at him for some time before she was distracted by the sound of party crackers popping. This is followed by Rio introducing Tifa, Hikari, and Latifa to Liselotte. Ending the introductions, Rio materializes a table and chairs for them to sit upon. Then they start talking about their experiences in this world. Rio told Liselotte how Haruto, after combining with Rio, saved the second princess from her kidnapper. After this, the king of Beltrum rewarded Rio with 100 gold coins and permission to attend the Royal Academy of the Kingdom of Beltrum. Then on the next day, how Rio Celsius's soul fused with them who died due to some god's mistake, and for that he was given a chance to live a new life in a random world with a spatial farm as his primary cheat and some other power. Then Rio told her how Tifa is his spirit, who helps him in looking over his spatial farm. Liselotte is now utterly shocked at knowing all this and took a long time to digest all of this. After this, Rio told her how he saved Latifa and her aunt, who was enslaved by a noble house in the kingdom of Beltrum. Following this, Latifa tells Liselotte about her situation from her perspective, followed by Hikari. Knowing this, Liselotte felt sad for them. Then she asks Hikari if she wants to take revenge on the wife of the Rondon's current family head. To this, Hikari replies that Rio has already taken revenge in her place by making that woman drink an ugly potion that, with time, will make her very ugly. At this, Liselotte and others including Rio have a chill run down their spines on seeing the devilish smile on Hikari's face. This shows that Hikari is a revengeful woman. Next, it was Liselotte's turn to share her experience in this world, and she did tell them everything. How she found herself merged with Liselotte Kresha, the only daughter of the Duke Kresha family, a prominent noble household in the Gallic Kingdom. What information she has gathered about the history of this world and its current situation. How she came to know that there are only two future paths for every girl with noble origins in this world. How did she decide to change her future with her own hands, and what are her plans for the future? Hearing Liselotte's situation, Rio, Tifa, Latifa, and Hikari felt sympathy for her and promised her that they are ready to help her in any way possible. To this, Liselotte also became happy, as now after 5 months of alone suffering in this world, she has finally met someone with whom she can share her burden, for which she is truly grateful, so she thanked them from the depth of her soul. At the end of all this talk, they all took a small break as Rio materialized snacks and beverages from his previous world. Then eat and drink as they talked among themselves. It was mainly the girls talking to themselves while asking Rio for his opinions from time to time, which made him the only boy in midst of 4 girls who have gathered together for the first time. I/N, haha, sorry about that, it's none other than me, the author of this story. After this small break, Rio asked Liselotte about her plans for the future, so that they can check if it has any flaws and correct them to increase their probability of success. To this, she agreed and then told them about her plan. Hearing Liselotte's plan, Rio made a proposition to help her in achieving her desired future. Liselotte accepted with a grateful smile on her face and asked him about his plan. So, Rio first explained about one of his powers that he got from the god, which allows him to summon people from other worlds with 100% loyalty to him. Rio then told them the basic of his plan, how he plans on summoning people from different worlds, who knows how to do business. Then he plans to disguise them as a merchant who came from the Iekami region, then uses them to set up a small company in the territory of Sertia House in the Galrak Kingdom, where they deal with the products from the Iekami region. While he is doing all this, Rio wants Liselotte to make a deal with her parents that they will give her a city to manage if she passes the Royal Academy of Gallic Kingdom with an early graduation. Then he wants her to graduate early with very good marks, which he and the other girls will help her with. Then after graduation, he wants her to select a newly constructed city near the wilderness to govern over. Rio then wants Liselotte to come in contact with the merchant, whom he will summon from a different world in the future, enter a business partnership with them, and set up a guild through which she will look over her entire business in the future. Then with Rio's summoned merchants as her followers, Liselotte will be able to increase her fame all around the region and thus successfully escape the fate of being bound in an arranged marriage with some noble brat. At the end of this talk, Liselotte was grateful to everyone, especially Rio. Then after Rio promised Liselotte that tomorrow, he will send her some beverages from his previous world which she will enjoy for sure. Then all of them left the virtual space and their consciousness returned to their sleeping bodies. That night, Liselotte slept her first peaceful sleep in this world. Chapter 14, Time Passes By and the Uneasy Feeling. Part 1, Time Skip. 5 years. It has been 5 years since the day Liselotte joined the dimensional chat group. After that day many things happened. Rio's relations with Tifa, Latifa, Hikari, Liselotte, and Celia have progressed very well in these 5 years. Ever since Liselotte joined the dimensional chat group, it has become a habit for her to enter the virtual space every night and share her daily experience with all of them. Other than this, when Liselotte came to know that Rio has been training Latifa and Hikari, She also requested Rio to train her, to which Rio happily agreed. Now, every night, Liselotte is personally trained by Rio in the virtual space. For the first year, Rio's daily schedule remained very simple. Wake up early and train his physique, and improve his swordsmanship and hand-to-hand fighting skills by sparring against his shadow avatars, Tifa, Hikari, and Latifa. After doing this, Rio takes a shower, then eats breakfast with Tifa, Latifa, and Hikari. Later he goes to the Royal Academy, where he trains his observation, genjutsu, and newly learned legilimency skills to teach lessons to the arrogant noble boys who want to bully him, and the number of such arrogant young masters has been increasing in numbers after he got the first position in the semester exam. But thanks to these bullies, Rio has mastered the art of constant vigilance that reminds him of a one-eyed wizard. This has also helped him in reaching new heights in the training of his genjutsu, legilimency, and observation haki. In latter, Rio has developed a sixth sense that let him sense everything in his surrounding to a range of 500 meters at that time. Other than this, Rio has continued his monthly raid on the noble's house in search of new plants and animals, as his shadows carrying his ring map out the forest region around the capital as they look for different types of soils, insects, plants, birds, animals, and fishes from the rivers to complete the ecosystem of the spatial farm. Due to this, the spatial farm has increased to level 20, which resulted in the upgrade of the existing land and water levels. Promotion of the quality of land to red land, increases crop yield by 10%, decreases maturity time by 20%. It has its special seed page in the spatial shop. The upgrade increased the detoxification ability, magic power, chakra power, physical strength, and restoration capabilities of Rio's body, and also promoted the quality of the spatial spring to the next level. Other than this, the background swap function has been added. The background swap function means you can decorate the background by buying it using gold coins. Right now, the land inside the space, except for land occupied by the spatial villa, is all covered with white mist. As long as you change the background, the white mist will dissipate and reveal the original world. The spatial bag function has been added. This feature allows Rio to create a fixed amount of spatial bags every month with different spatial storage spaces inside them, with their spatial storage capacity not exceeding 100 cubic meters in total for now. And just like this, Rio spends his first year in this world and reached level 7, and Hikari's soul spirit embryo also hatched, which gave birth to a firefox spirit, and Hikari named it Rosie. The second year was also the same as the first. Not many things changed in his academic life, as the bullies were still daily trying to catch him to teach him a lesson, but couldn't do so as they were not able to corner him in any way possible. The only change that happened in his second year's academic life is that he told Celia his secret of being a transmigrator, and invited her to join the dimensional chat group when she thought that he was joking with her. And man, it was not an easy thing to calm down a curious Celia, who is a researcher by heart, which resulted in her firing 100 questions per minute at Rio, asking Rio a multitude of questions regarding his life in his previous world, which left him speechless, as he was thinking that she will be angry, demanding why didn't he tell her sooner. But nothing like that happened. Instead, she happily accepted him as to how he is, which is the reason behind his speechlessness, as he underestimated his position in Celia's heart, which is not that of a normal friend but is that of an important person at the same level as her father. Then it was Celia's turn to become speechless when she saw Rio's spatial farm and his 1,000-year-old library collection. Then she became jealous of knowing that Rio has more female friends other than her, which put her on edge as she wanted to reserve Rio for herself. But when she talked with Tifa, Latifa, Hikari, and Liselotte, her wariness against them disappeared into the thin air as she became good friends with them. And she also agreed to help Liselotte when she came to know about her plan, as she is also someone who has also gone through the same thing and wanted the same thing as Liselotte, which is to write her future with her own hands. After this, the months passed by, and Celia also joined Rio's training camp, becoming her newest student. With this, the time to summon some merchants with some fighting power from the other world came, for which Rio needed a large amount of money, as there were two types of summoning. First, random summoning for 500,000 SP/gold coins. The second is the customized summoning, whose cost varies with the customer's requirements. And from Rio's motive, it cost him 3 million SP/gold coins. For this, Rio used all of the Gacha tickets he had been stacking up until then, which sum up to 370 tickets. So, Rio used 300 of them into 3 100 consecutive Gacha rolls which resulted in him getting many things, and the list of all the rewards are given below. Reward list. Part 2. Reward list. 1. 800,000 SP. 2. 1,423,500 gold coins. 3. 1x random female servant summoning card. 4. 1x Conqueror Haki Training Manual. 5. 1x Armament Haki Training Manual. 6. 1x Soul Weapon Embryo, and Soul Weapon that gains different forms at different evolution levels, that evolves from absorbing a part of the souls of its prey. Hatching time, 4 years. 7. Goro Goro no Mi / Tremor Tremor Fruit or Quake Quake Fruit, perfect version. It does not have the shortcomings of the traditional devil fruit that is afraid of seawater and sea stone. 8. Goro Goro no Mi / Rumble Rumble Fruit, perfect version. It does not have the shortcomings of the traditional devil fruit that is afraid of seawater and sea stone. 9. 2x Time Turner from the Harry Potter world. 10. 1x Resurrection Stone from the Harry Potter world. 11. 1x Perfect Body, can become a perfect vessel for any soul, created by a genius wizard in the Omniverse to resurrect his dead wife, but he died before he could realize his dream. 12. Time Control. 13. Gate of Babylon skill, it's the empty version of Gate of Babylon that you need to fill yourself. 14. Deluxe Military Grade Starship, it's built with the technology a level above from which the starship of the MC of the Lane, reborn as a space mercenary, is built. 15. Avalon Scabbard, it is a very powerful, magical scabbard that grants its user a very powerful healing ability. 16. A bag containing 12 senzu bins from the world of Dragon Ball. 17. 16K television. 18. Savage Rival Radiant GTS. 19. Iku Paradise. 20. Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan from the world of Naruto. 21. Self-repairing combat clothes. 22. Love at first sight. Skill, increases the chances of love at first sight, only works on females. 23. The attraction to the opposite sex has been enhanced, because of the original ability of love at first sight, the effect of the skill has been doubled. 24. The leftover things are all common grade day-to-day items. From the Gacha rolls, Ryo recovered 2/3 of the cost of summoning, and also gained some very good rewards. Ryo bound the 2 time turners with the spatial farm, from which it gained the ability to increase or decrease the time flow inside it by a factor of 4. And by bounding Avalon Scabbard to himself, Ryo gained a powerful healing factor and healing magic. Then he put the deluxe military grade starship and the previously confiscated treasures in his newly gained Gate of Babylon, but before that starship alongside the Savage Rival Radiant GTS and 16K television unlocked the technological background in the spatial farm, which is a modern-day city. Other than this, Ryo also absorbed the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, but his eyes don't change as normally, they still have their galaxy look. And when Ryo activates his Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, his galaxy eyes become red and red Tomo appears in his eyes. Just after absorbing the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Ryo didn't get the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan directly, instead he got 3 Tomo Sharingan that with time will increase and evolve into the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and then into Rinnegan. He also registered the senzu bins in the spatial farm database, and now he has a steady supply of them every month. Other than this, Ryo also bound the soul weapon embryo to himself, and he just has to wait for 4 years at most to get his soul weapon, which is before the time of the 5th year outdoor drill, if nothing affects its hatching time. After taking care of the rewards, Ryo used the summoning feature of the system to summon 5 couples for 3 million SP, and all the summoned couples are master merchants that can thrive in any market, alongside all of them being level 45 fighters. Then for the next year, Ryo and others are trained by these 5 couples, as they taught them how to fight on the battlefield, whereas Ryo, Tifa, and Liselotte all took special classes from them on how to do business in the market amongst the greedy merchants. In the 3rd year of the academy, Ryo summoned 5 couples to the Galrak kingdom, so that they can do some market research and find out what type of products will thrive there. I am going to write Ryo's parents as his parents, since now they are technically the same person. He also decided to revive his dead mother after discussing it with the girls, who told him to do what his heart says. So he first decided to bring her parents' souls using the resurrection stone, but only his mother's soul was summoned, as his father has already been reborn, which is why he can't be summoned anymore. Summoning his mother's soul, both mother and son became emotional on seeing each other after a long time, I/N, Rio, because he has all the memories of previous Rio, and after experiencing all those memories, Rio also thinks of her as his mother. And no debate on this. After an emotional reunion between the son and the mother, Rio told her about everything that happened to him after her death, excluding the information that he was the one who asked to be transmigrated as Rio. I/N, good sons don't hide most of the things from their mothers, and everyone has one or two secrets that they never tell to anyone. And then he asked her if she still thinks of him as her son, and surprisingly her answer was yes, as even after her son's soul has been combined with other two souls, she can still feel that he is still her son. Otherwise, he wouldn't be thinking of reviving her, and even then have not told her the truth. Hearing this, Rio became happy and asked her if she would like to return to the world of living beside him. Her son sighed, to which she agreed with tears of happiness rolling down her face. Part 3. Respecting his mother's wish. Rio used the perfect body, which he got in the Gacha before, to act as the vessel for her soul, and when her soul entered the perfect body, it started to change in appearance into that of Iekami Karasuki's in her early 20s, and with this Rio successfully resurrected her mother, Iekami Karasuki. Then he introduced her to Tifa and the other girls, who were very nervous about meeting her, as if she was going to test them or something, and on seeing this reaction, a smile appeared on Iekami's face as she understood that all of them are in love with his son. Then the next year also passed by, as Rio and others' strengths kept increasing at a good rate, including Iekami, as she also started training with her son, as she also teaches him how to run a kingdom in Rio's free time, as he is the prince of the Karasuki kingdom. During this time, Rio also came to know that before Zen, his father died. His relationship with Iekami was not so good, as according to Iekami, his personality changed with time even before he met with Lucius. After Iekami told this to Rio, both of them became closer over time, and unknowingly Iekami also developed some feelings for Rio. Then the year 994 started. This year was very important for Rio and others in terms of learning. This year, Rio started their advanced education based on the material from his previous life. Rio, Tifa, Iekami, Celia, and Liselotte were learning materials between high school and college levels, as they already had their basics completed, whereas Latifa and Hikari were starting from the middle school level. In all this, mathematics, basic science, economics, biology, and computer science and technology were the common subjects they all studied, while some other subjects were more like hobbies, like astrology, zoology, botany, ancient runes, etc., which they choose based on their preferences. Botany was the subject that all of them chose, so they can spend some time gardening together. Celia chooses ancient runes. Tifa and Hikari choose zoology. Iekami and Liselotte choose astrology. Latifa chooses singing and instrument playing, whereas Rio took part in all of them, as he spent some of his time with everyone improving their relationships. Other than this, Rio also started working on his chakra-based jutsu, and he started with Rasengan. Then he moved on to transformation jutsu, body replacement jutsu, shadow clone jutsu, Chidori, and so on. Rio also bought a fusion card from the system shop and successfully combined Shadow Avatar, SSS Plus, skill on Shadow Clone Jutsu to create Shadow Clone Jutsu, modified. Now clones can also use the other types of energies that the caster has, with all the primary skills of the shadows, like a replacement, can also use Shadow Dimension. When Iekami and others came to know about chakra, they asked Rio to teach them too. Rio told them, after becoming a member of the dimensional chat group, they have to gain a special constitution that allows them to use any type of energy system in Omniverse, but the condition is that Rio must be able to use that new energy system first. Telling this, he shared his chakra with all of them so that they can start cultivating their own. Once Iekami and others successfully started cultivating chakra, he taught them the basic chakra control exercises and some other techniques. Just like this, the year 994 ended. Then came the spring of the year 995. Liselotte also took early graduation from the Royal Academy of the Galrak Kingdom and won the bet with her parents, which resulted in her parents agreeing to let her act as the governor of a new city, Future Amanda, which was under construction during that time. After this happened, Liselotte, with the help of Mark and Beth, I/N, these are the couple who is the leader of the other four couples that Rio summoned before, started a small business guild of her own, which she named Rika Guild, which entered in partnership in the Celsius company, which is established by Mark and Beth, with Rio being its owner. Then both of them together started doing small business in the area around the future Amanda. The cooperation between the Rika Guild and Celsius company highly benefited Rio, as it became easy for him to collect different plants, metals, insects, soil types, animals, birds, fishes, and some ancient demonic soul artifacts that helped his spatial farm in reaching level 30, unlocking the processing factory function, making backgrounds usual as rural land with no limit in plant quantity planted in them, and it also improved Rio's physique. This all was what happened till the end of the year 995, and then the year 996 started. At the start of this year, Rio and Tifa were at level 197, Iekami at level 136, Hikari and Celia at level 118, and Liselotte and Latifa were at level 105 and 94 respectively. They were at these levels without using any devil fruit or anything else that Rio got in his last caca. Rio just bought a background and turned it into the best training ground he can. He used earth elements to transform the terrain into a perfect battlefield. Then using his gravity control, Rio also created a gravity area like the gravity chamber from Dragon Ball. Other than that, Rio also took full advantage of the virtual space provided by the dimensional chat group. He assimilated 5 warriors who are masters of their craft: weapon master, swordsman, archer, spearman, side master, etc., close quarter combat master, master mage, warrior mage, and assassin. Then he is trashed by all of them all day long as he practices all of their skills. Seeing Rio working so hard, other girls also choose one craft for themselves and start training inside the virtual space under the guidance of the assimilated masters. They also used the virtual space to hold life and death battles as they fought against the masters that at the start always ends with their death. But as time passed by, their skills increased in proficiency and they started to hold their ground in the battles against the masters. Rio also used to assimilate different types of situations. For example, a desert, mountain range, lava fields, space, etc. And by assimilating different types of enemies in all these fields, Rio slowly trains himself and others for any situation that can occur in any wildest dreams of his. Thinking that they all have become pretty strong and they all have reached a wall in their progress, Rio and others think of decreasing their pace as they started to find hobbies for themselves to relax. Tifa and Iekami found cooking and gardening, Hikari found cooking and animal training, Celia found reading and artifact crafting, Liselotte and Latifa found music listening and movie watching, while Rio spends a little bit in all of the above hobbies as he accompanies every one of them. As Rio was spending a happy time with his family, he started to feel that he has been forgetting something very important and that the future is much more twisted than he is thinking. And as the day passed by, this uneasy feeling inside Rio's heart kept increasing until a week before the night competition. Rio finally found out the reason behind his uneasy feeling when he reached level 200 and his race was also ready to evolve. Chapter 15, Meeting, Part 1. A week before the night competition of the Royal Academy. Where am I? Rio said as he suddenly found himself floating in a black space. So, the time has finally come. A calm voice sounds from behind Rio. Hearing the voice, Rio quickly turns around and comes face to face with a young man, whose entire presence screams strongly as Rio is assaulted by intense pressure as if he is standing in front of a king, which made him break out in cold sweat. But strangely, Rio doesn't feel any danger from this man as the man in the question keep observing at him with a friendly smile on his lips. With time, Rio started to grow accustomed to the strong pressure the man is giving off just by standing there, as something inside him started to awaken. But since Rio wasn't able to find out what it was, he also started to observe the man in front of him. He has white shoulder-length hair that is made into a ponytail and blood-red eyes with reptilian slits in the middle. After an unknown amount of time, just as Rio became completely accustomed to this man's presence, the man opened his mouth and broke the silence between them. Welcome, Rio Celsius. I have waited for a long time, just to meet you and test you. And just as I thought, you didn't disappoint me. You have the potential to free this world, said the man in front of him, which made Rio confused hearing what he was talking about. Mister, first can I know who you are? How do you know my name? And have we met before? Rio asked the white-haired man, who smiled in return and then introduced himself. Oh, sorry about that. Where are my manners? My name is Rio, Spirit Dragon King Ryo," said the white-haired man as his red eyes started to glow in the darkness. Then with bright light and a majestic roar he turned into a majestic purple dragon, and the space around him started to tremble under his pressure, which was 10 times more potent than before. Thankfully he quickly changed back into his human form, and Ryo let out the breath that he was holding unconsciously. Then in the next moment, Ryo's eyes widened when he remembered who the man before him was, and then he shouted in shock, You are the one who ended the Great War 1000 years ago," Ryo shouted in surprise. As for spoilers, Volume 21 of Seirei Gensouki is all about this man, how Ryo is the second reincarnation of this person, and how 1000 years ago he single-handedly stopped the demon invasion from another world at the cost of his own life. Yes, it's me. Or more specifically, it was the past me, as now I am just a soul fragment of the original that he left behind in this world to warn the future generation, Ryo said with complicated eyes and a sad smile on his face. "What do you mean?" Ryo asked Ryo in confusion, as he couldn't understand what he was talking about. "I am sure you know about the higher being who came to this world in the past, and how he before his disappearance created 7 existences to look over this world, and Lena was one of those 7 existences, right?" Ryo asked, and Ryo nodded. So he continued, "To tell you the truth, that higher being never disappeared. Instead he died due to old age. But before he died, he came to know about a big mistake he made by coming to this world, which is that he increased the level of this world just by living in it. That made this world's boundary come in contacting other worlds with a much higher level than his own, making this world's spatial boundaries unstable. And to correct the mistake he made, he used the last of this power to strengthen the spatial boundaries of this world and set some laws to prevent this world from being destroyed by its creations. After the death of that higher being, the peace he imagined before his death came, but it didn't last for long because of the laws he set, as he made a mistake while setting those laws, as it somehow affected 6 out of the 7 existences he created, and they started to do anything in their power to protect the peace he much desired. Even so, they betrayed Lena, who was unaffected by the change in the law and was sealed by the other 6, who then started to tinker with the laws that higher being set himself. They also started making holes in the spatial boundary of this world to search for his whereabouts, and it was one of these holes that got connected to a world filled with creatures of darkness, which they named demons, who later launched a war against this world, all because of those 6 existences, as they were the one who provoked them. Later on, the 6 existences tricked Lena into convincing the original and the 7 great spirits, who were the original inhabitants of this world, to fight against the demon army. Then those 6 existences enslaved the 7 great spirits when they were exhausted after fighting the war, whereas original died. But before that, Lena used last of her power to activate the reincarnation magic on both of them and create a spirit which she bounded to the original soul, and now is bounded to you and is currently listening to our talk, as you are his reincarnation. Ryo said the last line while looking at the sky, where both of them saw a small ball of light looking at them. With a chuckle, he continued, "So, just as the original died and his soul was crossing the boundary of this world to travel to a lower world, it came in contact with the consciousness of this world that has seen everything from the very start, and it shared all this with the original, who later shared with me, and that's how I came to know about all this. But the contact between the original and this world's consciousness caused fatal damage to the original soul, and he slowly started to lose his memories and personality and turned into an empty soul. But before that would have happened, he created me so that I can warn the future generation of what is waiting for them. But now that I am looking at you, I feel like everything will be fine. Just never stop becoming strong if you want to live a happy life with your loved ones, as it is only your strength and your family that you can depend upon," Ryo said with a weak smile as his body started to become translucent. Part 2. Looks like my time has come. I just want to warn you to be prepared, as that demon army will come back, and with them will come those 6 existences. The world is going to change. Heroes will be summoned from Haruto's world, and within them will be the 7 great spirits. Please free them from their enslavement and take care of Lena and Sora, as I am sure that child is still there waiting for the original to return, as he was the only family she ever had. It was the original's last wish. Other than that, you can do whatever you want. No one will stop you. Even if you want to leave this world, I or the original will not blame you, as it wasn't your war to begin with," Ryo said with a weak smile. Then, Ryo walked close to him, and then while patting Ryo's shoulder he said, "This is a gift the original left behind. It's the sword he used." Then a white light ball appeared in Riko's hand, which then turned into a sword that he handed over to Ryo, and just as he held it, it turned into countless light particles and entered Ryo's body. Goodbye, Ryo, you have my best wishes, have a happy future, and keep your family happy and away from any harm. Saying this, Ryo turned into light particles and dispersed into the thin air. Only Ryo was left behind with a small ball of light that is supposedly Aishia, that started approaching him slowly. When the light ball reached him, it turned into a beautiful female on the same level as Tifa and Iekami. She had a cold and fleeting impression, with extremely long peach-colored hair reaching down her knee and gem-like eyes of the same color. Both of them kept looking at each other for a while, then the female spirit extended her hand and touched Ryo's face, and started caressing it. Then in the next second, both of them at the same time moved close to each other and hug each other tightly. Were you waiting for a very long time? Ryo asked the girl in his arms, who hugged more tightly in return, and then Ryo heard a melodious voice. Yes, I was. Don't worry, you won't be alone anymore, Ryo said as he looked at the girl in his embrace, and she nodded. Do you know how we can get out of this place? Ryo asked, and the girl nodded and then said, just think about it and it will happen. Hearing that, Ryo said, are you ready to go out and meet others? I am sure they will be very happy to meet you and will accept you with open arms, Ryo said, and the girl silently nodded. Okay, let's go back, Ryo said, and then both of them closed their eyes as Ryo thought of returning to the real world, and then with white light, their consciousness returned to the real world. Real world. In his dorm room at the Royal Academy, Ryo opens up his eyes as his consciousness returns from that dark place. He also realizes a warm energy is flowing in his entire body and his body is changing because of this warm energy. He could feel his strength increasing alongside his chakra and mana reserves. After a good half an hour, the warm energy was entirely consumed and Ryo's body stopped changing. And as a result, Ryo feels like he has taken a huge leap in strength, which is around 40% of his previous strength. Ryo hears the melodious voice of the spirit that he met before for the first time in that black space. Then Ryo felt something soft pressing against his body. When Ryo looks down at his chest, he finds his contracted spirit soundly sleeping on his chest without a single article of clothing on her body. Seeing this, Ryo used the quilt to cover her naked body, which she returned by strengthening her hug around him. Ryo chuckled a little and started patting her head. So, do you want a name? Ryo asked the spirit in his arms, who nodded while looking into his eyes. Okay, how about Aishia? It means warm spring or beautiful spring. Do you like it? Ryo asked, and she first repeated that name a few times and then with a smile on her face she said, yes, I like it. My name is Aisha. Saying that, she again rested her head on Ryo's chest and Ryo again started patting her head, and just as he was doing this, he hears Tifa's giggle in his head, after which she says, congratulations, Ryo, your race has evolved. Oh. Then the warm energy that I was feeling just now was due to my evolution? Ryo asked as he continued to pat Aisha's head. Yes, that's right. So, how was your meeting with the legendary Spirit Dragon King? Tifa asked after answering Ryo's question. Were you watching my meeting with him? Ryo asked, and Tifa replied, yes, not only me but Iekami, Tifa, and Hikari were also watching as I woke them up and told them what is happening to you. I have also recorded that talk so that I can show it to Celia and Liselotte. Ha, they also saw that. What is their current condition? Ryo asked with concern in his voice. They are okay. A little shocked on knowing the truth, but okay. But more than that, they are curious to meet your contract spirit, Tifa said with a chuckle. Then just in the next second, Ryo hears Aisha's voice in his head as she is also soul bonded to him. Curious to meet me? Aisha said in confusion. Yes, curious about you as you are very cute. I am sure everyone wants to meet you, especially Ryo's mom. She is already planning on how to spoil you. Giggle, Tifa said with a giggle, and Aisha smiled a small smile. Ryo, I advise you to get up and start preparing, as you still have your daily training to do. Otherwise, you will be late for the academy. Tifa reminded Ryo, and Ryo replied with an internal nod. After this, Ryo and Aisha got up and Ryo asked Aisha, Aisha, can you please create clothes for yourself to wear, as we are now going to meet with my mother and other family members. Hearing Ryo's instruction, Aisha quickly created a white one-piece dress that was shown in the novel. After that, Ryo teleported Aisha and himself inside his spatial farm, where Tifa, Iekami, Tifa, and Hikari were waiting for them. The end. Thank you for listening. Like and share this video and subscribe the channel for notification alert for the continuation of this audiobook series.